Hello and welcome to this week's DampSam Reacts with me, DampSam. This week, I was trawling through YouTube as I normally do, looking for a bit of content. What can I find? And I came across this video. It says DIY damp proofing, which always lights up a screen when I see it. So DIY damp proofing, a step-by-step guide with Kate McKee. Not sure who Kate is. I think she must be a property investor from going on what I've read in the notes. It was made 2 years ago, and she's got 246,000 subscribers 2 years ago, so I'm tipping she's probably got a few more now, and 5,400 views on this particular video. I'm not sure what it's about. It's a reaction video, so we're going to watch it together. But first, I'm going to make a disclaimer. So, anybody that don't like me doing these reaction videos, anybody that have watched them before and don't like the content, all I'll say to you is there's an off button. Just turn it off and don't watch it, because if it's upsetting you that I'm pointing out things that might be wrong and telling people how to do them right, then some people are sort of taking offence at this, and it might be the way that I'm saying it with a few swear words. But do you know what I mean? I don't want to be vanilla. I'm not like anybody else. I'm from a trade background, and I say it as it is, and that's just me, DampSam. So if you don't like it, there's an off button, and you can use it. So I'm telling you beforehand. Some people think that I'm probably a bit harsh on my comments, and it tended to be more with plastering side. Some plasterers are very protective over plasterers in the industry for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know why you're so touchy, but I'm just telling you how it is. I know some of these plasterers, like Bain and stuff like that, they've got they've got a good rapport with the fans and stuff, and if anybody says that they're doing something wrong, then I don't think you like it, do you? But it's just content. It's just content. So we're churning these out, so you can watch them. Most plasterers, 99% of plasterers get the sense of humour and they enjoy the content, because they've all told me. And the 1%, that's your lot, that's complaining, you're wrong. Everybody says you're wrong. But like I said, you've got the choice. It's an off button. Don't watch it. As soon as my face appears, turn it off. Okay? So we've just got that out of the way. So let's get on with this show. So we've got Kate, who's a property investor, and we want to see what she's doing. She's got some damp proofing that she's going to do DIY to save a bit of money, and she's going to tell people, she's going to tell some of her 246,000 subscribers how she's going to save money doing damp work herself. And if she says out wrong, I'll jump in there and I'll just put it right in a tradesman's way. Okay, so I hope you're going to enjoy this show. Let's get on with it. Come on, Kate, in you come, girl.
Hi everybody, today I'm joined by Kate McKee of Warwickshire Property Partners, and Kate is also an EPC Energy Performance Assessor. But as well as that, Kate invests in property and is an active property investor and entrepreneur, aren't you?
Hiya, DampSam here. Did you know, if you want to watch a full unedited version of this, if you become a Damp fan, $2.99, which is as much as a an expensive cup of coffee up here, you can watch a full unedited version of this. Nah, let's get back watching this bit, eh? See you in a bit. So Kate's invests in property. I mean, I don't know who this guy is. It doesn't say his name, but obviously she's got somebody on to sort of prompt questions and things like that. Could be a brother, could be a dad, could be a bloke. I don't know. We don't know what relationship, but they seem to know each other. But she's a property investor. She's making out that she's very experienced. That's what's coming across to me. She's very experienced property investor. She's an installation assessor. So she might have even had dealings with PCA. She might know Steve, because he went and took course as a property assessor. And back then, 2 years ago, I'm wondering if she's just qualified, because you could be fast tracked. I got a form sent through, but I couldn't be asked doing it. It were a lot of work in a short space of time. But they wanted to fast track us surveyors from preservation industry to be these assessors, and because of just a massive shortage, I think that's why. So she might have done course then, but she might have been passed for years. But it's a good job, and they're after him again. So there's a massive shortage of them again. I think it's a spray foam surveyors. So I don't know if I can be. We've got too much on, so I don't think I can be asked with that. Let's see what she's got to say.
Kate.
Yes, some of my sins.
So what we're doing today is we're taking a look at how Kate has cured what appeared to be rising damp from her property, but it wasn't rising damp, was it?
Well, it was penetrating damp mostly, but there's some aspects of rising damp, but we've stopped all issues from having in the future at all. So
what's the difference between rising damp and penetrating damp for those out there who are not familiar with these technical terms?
So rising damp is coming up from the ground, and it's usually found in older property where they've built straight on dirt instead of having a proper foundation. And penetrating damp is generally coming in from the side. So in my case, it was because the property on the next door to me had a higher ground level, because we're on a hill. So that's the higher ground level. That damp is coming through the wall sideways into my property.
So as a damp surveyor and a damp expert, and someone that's been doing it for a long time, what she's referring to here is lateral damp. Excuse me. So she's got her property's on this level. The other property is probably 5 courses above. So it's probably been built on a hill. So 5 courses above, round about that, or something like that. And and what you get is you've got that bottom part of a wall is probably earth retaining. It sounds like it's earth retaining, and maybe a concrete slab. So what you're getting is lateral damp coming through. In theory, it is penetrating the wall, but how we refer to it is lateral damp. What we refer to is penetrating damp. That's normally what we say is coming from. It's normally from outside. It's normally from a continuous water source. So if you've got driving rain, if you've got leaking gutter that's hitting one place, if you've got water dripping from aristers and it's just hitting one place, then that can penetrate through your structure. Technically, like I said, if they have got dampness coming through, then technically it is penetrating through. If it were. Now, I've not seen it before, so I'd have liked to have seen pictures of it before, and I could have kind of looked at patterns and said, it's this or that. But we're going to take their word for it, saying they've got lateral damp coming through, and this is what they're going to treat. So lateral damp, normally checked with a waterproofing system. Hiya, it's DampSam here. I've just come on just to tell you that DampSamcom is now up and running. We've got the Express damp proofing system course, designed by me, run by me, done by me. You can buy that. We've got the ultimate guide to to black mold and condensation. You can pay what you want for it. And we've also got 3 free ebooks. And also we've got a guide to basement conversions, the ultimate guide to damp proofing, and also the podcasting series. You can get in contact with them, and the YouTube membership. Enjoy it rest of your film.
And because the property is a Victorian property, it effectively wasn't built on deep piled foundations.
So one of the other things as well, she said that rising damp is, you know, typically on properties that's been built on dirt. Not really. It's normally property that's not got a damp proof course, so or a damaged damp proof course, and it's water from it's salts dissolved in water from the ground, so you'll have a water source underneath, and it rises up through capillaries, and if there's not a damp proof course to stop it, then it'll continue its path, and then salts will evaporate through moisture and be left as a salty deposit, and that causes decoration spoil and the hygroscopic and the absorbed moisture as well, and you get a salt band, and it basically you need to take that contaminated plaster off.
Didn't have a damp proof course in there.
No.
And you're on a hill, so the neighbouring property is slightly higher, so the soil of their building is above your ground level,
exactly.
and that's what's causing your penetrating damp.
Yeah.
So, is it easy to fix this? Is this a complex job?
It's not a complex job, and I will say that because I did the majority of it myself. I did have a lot of help from a friend of mine, Kevin, who is a damp and timber expert. Can highly.
So let's just, that's made my ears prick up. So Kevin's a damp and timber expert, okay? So I'm tipping that everything's gonna be bang on here. I know it probably won't, but everything should be bang on. And I'm just looking at that picture, and she's painting that onto brickwork with a little sweeping brush. So alarm bells are ringing already for me.
I highly recommend him, and he taught me how to do it and showed me how to stop damp problems from coming back in the future.
Well, that's a fantastic skill to have, and a fantastic bit of knowledge to have. So,
it is. It's a brilliant skill to have, and it's specialist. It's specialist knowledge. And what you tend to do is, you know, you go and learn this specialist knowledge on courses, and it's specialist for a reason, because the systems that you have to install for certain types of damp, and if they're not installed correctly, then the systems can fail. So this is why it's not a DIY job. There is damp proofing systems that's been made so people can use them themselves, and they've made them simple, like the express damp proofing system that you can learn step by step. If you go to DampSamcom, I've done a course, you can buy that, and it shows you everything you need, and it is a simple course. But we're talking about waterproofing, which is a bit more specialised than damp proofing, and I am a qualified structural waterproofing surveyor as well as a damp proofer. Hang on, my thing's gone off for some reason. Bear with me.
Do you want to talk us through the process of what's actually going on here? I mean, first thing you've got to do, I imagine, is chip off the plaster.
It is, yeah. So I actually left this bit to Kevin. I mean,
that were good, wasn't it? Do you know what I mean? Leaving job for Kevin. It's supposed to be DIY, do it yourself, and it's, you know, Kate's property. So I'd have thought she'd have, you know, got stuck in and got her hands dirty and got it hacked off herself. But obviously not. Must be a job for Kev. Hang on a minute. The fucking hell's he putting down on carpet? It looks like a bin bag. That looks like a, you know, them bin bags that you get and you roll them out. Come get your black bin bags. Put them on the staircase. Come get your black bin bags. I ain't got no dust sheets. I can't believe he's putting a bin bag down. How much does a fucking dust sheet cost? Even most people's got a pair of old curtains, haven't they? Or some bed sheets that they can just throw down. Fucking bin bags.
Covered, you'll be wiping dust.
There's a bit... I keep stopping it at these junctures because I'm just trying to look at wall behind it. It does look as if there's a bit of salts there, doesn't it? They do look like there's some salts there. So it could that could be salts. Could be salts. Then they do look very much like salts. So yeah. But if it is a lime plaster, then as Pt.1 had said, it probably wouldn't affect it. Do you know what I mean? The moisture would just go through and there wouldn't be no salty deposits on, so it should have been okay. Although, I don't know, it does look as if they've had a sand and cement render on it.
Away for weeks, and he chipped off to about 1 metre, so he picked out the level of where the ground was on the other side, and he went 2/4 of bricks above that to start.
So I'd have gone 1 course. There's no need to go 2 courses. You need to go the course of bricks as close to the floor as you can. So it sounds to me like the expert Kevin, damp and timber expert Kevin, what Kevin has done is he's got in his head that it's got to be 150 mil from floor level. So he's measured up 2 courses. Now it's 150 mil if it's outside to avoid rainwater splashback, not inside. So straight away, I'm thinking Kevin might not be a damp and timber expert in the sense that he's got relevant qualifications. He might be in the sense that he has been doing a bit of plastering and a bit of damp work for a long time, and been told different things, like, you know. So yeah, he should have gone maybe 1 course above.
Effectively, like you'd have a damp-proof course outside, 2 bricks above ground level, and that would be where you'd insert the damp-proof membrane. Now,
that's
being
outside.
a Victorian property, you can't go back and sort of lift the house up, insert a damp-proof membrane and lower it back down. So,
unfortunately not.
Did you...
To be fair, you don't have to lift it up, but there's some people that actually cut all the mortar out of a damp course and try and put their own in, and I've seen it. It's there's no need with modern methods. There's no need to do that.
You put a chemical damp-proof.
Yeah, so we had injections externally and internally. We took all of the skeleton boards off in the rooms that were particularly damaged by damp, and in my property it was all down the right hand wall from the front door to the back door, and that's where the property level was higher. And it was also the 2 middle rooms, because they are suspended timber floors and not cement like the rest of the property is.
So she's got suspended timber floors. And she's putting a full damp course all the way around. Now, it does sound to me like whoever's surveyed it has not done a good job. I think it's low level damp what's been affecting them other walls, especially if it's a timber floor.
The previous owner had actually allowed those air bricks to be blocked up, meaning there was no air circulating, and it was indeed very damp. And I did have to replace all the joists and all the floorboards in both those.
So it's definitely low level damp then. So what happens with lower level damp? I've spoke about it before. You'll get condensation forming on inside at subfloor, and that will track up wall. It's not rising damp, it will track up wall and bridge any existing DPC. Now I've not seen age of the property, but it could have a damp proof course in it, a physical one. So the joists might have been sat on, and they might not have been. But if she's had to replace it all, then I think I'm not. You wouldn't have had to knock it off right eye, but like I said, I've not seen it. I'm just guessing based on a lot of timber floors that I've seen when I've been doing work in past.
Those rooms as well.
Sounds to me like it was a bit of a built-in swimming pool there.
Yeah, the smell when we lifted the floorboards of the damp dirt underneath is not great.
The beauties of old houses. You find all of these maintenance tasks, and old commercial buildings as well, for those of you who buy commercial. So once you've injected a chemical damp proof course, what did you and Kevin do next?
So, and you will see now Kevin's actually talking us through how to create tanking slurry, what to do, and the parts to mix it in. So you're just grabbing handfuls of the, it's very dry powdered form. So if you have got any cuts on your hands, and Kevin does mention this as well, make sure you wear gloves to wash your hands.
Kev's not wearing gloves, is he?
It does hurt when it gets
or
in
a
there.
dust mask.
And then you're going to mix it up with water to a consistency, something like paint, or as I likened it to pancake batter. It's quite.
Hang on a minute. So Kev, the expert damp and timber, whatever he is, expert in damp and timber, not my words, Kate's words, has told her how to mix this tanking slurry, which is waterproofing slurry. Looks like they've got it from Screwfix. It said no more water or something like that. These are polymer modified slurries, and she's just said that you mix it up like paint, so that's wrong for a start. And the is mixing it with a brush out of a dustpan and brush. He's not mixing it with a Keller or a whisk. He's mixing it with a fucking a sweeping brush. So this is an expert. This is a damp and timber expert who this property investor has fetched in. Who's told her to mix it like paint. All I'll say is this: your bags are waterproofing slurry, even ones that you get from Screwfix. They've got instructions on back, and majority of them tell you that they've got ratios, and it'll tell you how much water to put in, and then you add your powder to your water, and the measurements. And there's a reason why the exact measurements. It's sort of stuff will work as a waterproofing system, and it's normally like 2 coat. You know, you put your first coat on and your second coat on. Now, I'm not a massive fan of putting it straight onto brickwork, but manufacturers do say you can put it straight onto brickwork, and there's a lot of companies that do that. Seeker and that they'll put it straight onto brickwork. I learnt that when I did my surveying, structural surveying, and what I found is the easiest way to do it is to put a coat of sand and cement on first. So you prep your background, and these are normally earth retaining walls in cellars, so all background's got to be prepped correctly, using, you know, you've got to make sure all loose mortar, paint, brick, it's all got to be taken off. I mean, not so much for lateral damp, but it's still got to be prepared properly, and it's got to be applied properly. But what tends to happen if you're putting it onto brickwork and it's got big joints and you get sort of air bubbles in and that. But if you're going to put 2 coats on, normally you can you have to put it on thick. So you use a masonry brush, a proper masonry brush, and you mix it up a lot thicker than that, and it goes on. It's daubed on. But yeah, so I'd rather put some sand and cement on first, and it don't have to be a strong mix. 4-and-1 and a 5-and-1, but it's got to be prepped. Background's got to be prepped properly, and then you put that off at top. There's other systems up market, but one of the things you don't do is just put a bit of water in and then mix it with a fucking sweet little hand brush. So let's see how they go on.
Similar, and then you're going to get a nylon brush. It must be nylon because otherwise it will just seal up. So we used an old dustpan brush, which is ideal.
Fucking hell.
And you're just going to start slapping it on.
Trust me, it's not ideal. It's definitely not ideal. Now, so he's going to start on this. Just my observations is there's still some of them white salts. I think they're white salts, or it could be old plaster that we're on. It don't look as if it's been wiped down, that background. You'd normally wipe it down with a stiff brush, and then just make sure it's all. In fact, you'd probably do it with a wire brush and all. Make sure it's all set, and then you'd probably prep it with something. Put some kind of salt neutralizing system on it. Yeah. But let's see how they go on.
It on. Start from the top, obviously, and if there's any areas with really loose brick dust, brush those off first so that the tanking slurry actually slides on and actually sticks in all those crevices.
So I've got this image of you accidentally mixing up your pancake mix, ready for pancake day or making a crepe, and it coming out grey like tanking slurry by accident.
If you put paint on wall, if you mix it up like paint and you put it on wall, it will be like a fucking crepe. It will be crepe.
Yeah, it wouldn't be great. Definitely want to be eating that. But the problem is you can't actually make it any thicker. So you've got to be careful when you're adding water.
Did she just say you can't make it any thicker? Is that in what rules, in what law do they, has said it that they can't do it any thicker? I think she's just making stuff up now. You can't make it any thicker. Yeah, trust me, love. It's supposed to be thicker.